Hello. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate every single one of you. I really hope that you took the time right there to, read the email and come in here ready to just move your body a little bit. However you felt, in whatever way felt right to you. I love movement. We'll do some of that throughout our challenge, but I just thought it would be fun to start our little time together with some moving your body. And if you chose to just sit and watch me make a fool of myself on the screen and dance, then I invite you to ask yourself, what was stopping you from just getting up and moving? Just simply, what was stopping you from getting up and moving right there with me? No judgment either way. So again, thank you for joining me here in this space. We're going to start off with talking about, let's first figure out, what does recognizing our worth mean to me personally? And on top of this, I want you to think about what it means to you, because everybody's different, right? But what does recognizing our worth to me mean? It means having the ability to accept ourselves as we are, and going for our dreams, speaking our truths, not being worried about what other people might say or think, taking accountability for our own selves, allowing space for the fear that holds us back, but having the ability to push through it. Because the truth is, you never know until you try, ever. And now, if you read the email that brought you to this video, which I hope you did, I asked you to bring a journal. Just to every moment, every time you open these emails, come prepared with a journal to just take some space for yourself, to either participate in the prompts and stuff that I have for you, or to reflect on maybe some things that you hear, or just like jot down some notes or learn, or whatever it is you need to take away from it. I invite you to bring a journal so that you remember, so you can go back to whenever you kind of feel you need to. But also you can come back to these videos anytime you need to also. And now for our first little exercise. Yeah, I guess we can call it that. I want you to think, when somebody, I know I've asked people before, and I generally get the same response of whether they like themselves. You like yourself, right? I've asked that question, and people are always like, well, of course I do. What are you talking about? I treat my body good. Of course I like myself, right? Or maybe you're flat out don't. That's okay. We are all in different places. But if you're one of those people who say, well, of course I like myself, who are you to ask that kind of question? I want you to stop and think for a moment. If there's something you really wanted to do or say throughout your life, whether recently or in the past, something you wanted to do or something you wanted to say, and you decided to hold back because that inner gremlin, inner critic in your mind, it got in the way and told you, well, who am I to do this? That little inner critic is all related to our worth and how we feel about ourselves. So what you can expect here in our little time together is emails to your inbox with, sorry, my hands were in the way, emails to your inbox with prompts for you to, again, participate or not participate, some sharing things that I have learned along the way, my take on some stuff, and really just some things that I personally believe to be good tools or understanding or to understand when we are on any type of growth journey, because those inner critics will always get in the way. And when you start to recognize this stuff that I share with you throughout our time together, you'll be like, okay, it's only me holding myself back, not any of those thoughts. That's the intention here behind this little space here. And so I wanted to be transparent with you as well before I move on to the next couple slides of our like little intro video, and let you know that at the time of recording this video, I don't have a new title for what this little challenge is going to be called. It hasn't, I guess in a way you could say, it hasn't come to me yet. I'm just not sure, but this is a rebrand refresh, which you'll learn about in a couple minutes. And I've changed up a lot of things. And so I want to rename it. I just haven't gotten there yet. So right now we're just sticking with that. I am worthy of whatever I desire. That's kind of like our main title right now, because that is what I believe in. This is kind of where a lot of things stem from, which again, you'll learn about in a couple minutes. So we are titleless at the time of me recording this. But this is the time that I wanted to start talking about it and really, and record it, because truthfully, I'm in a really good space at the moment. I just came back from camping, and I have experienced like a whole reset refresh. I may look tired because I'm tired, but I'm like ready to go. You know what I mean? So I just needed to pop on here and record this over the next couple days while I still have that refresh reset before life really gets in the way, you know? So titleless, but here we are. Welcome again. So let's switch slides if it will let me. There we go. Stay there. Hopefully I didn't click too many times. Beautiful. Okay, so the backstory behind this is, as I mentioned just a couple seconds ago, was this this challenge that I created has been around about a year and a half. I think I've put it out into the world like 2, maybe 3 times now. And the original version of it, which I used to call the Bergamot challenge, was conceived after the realization that all the choices I had made in my past were because of my perceived perception of my own worth. It was a time when I was deep in the unraveling of the connection that plants have to our overall emotions, well-being, and all the things. And Bergamot was the tool that I came across and learned about, being the one that was a support for self-acceptance. So learning to, well, accept ourselves, right, for as we are. It was one of those, just a beautiful tool. Understanding and accepting my stories. Sorry, it was a time when I was understanding and accepting my stories and undoing the stuff that told me that I wasn't worth making the change that I wanted to see. Now, the bergamot oil is still woven into some of our days, you'll find here, but it's complete. You don't need it to participate. And because like I had to keep it in here because it's something that I'm really passionate about. And once you realize the connection to plants and stuff, you can't unrealize it. They are such a powerful tool. But the focus here has become less about the oil and more about you, because I believe that every person in this world deserves to recognize how fucking powerful they are. So here we have a space now, I mean, still then, but refreshed now, to learn some things, uncover some thoughts that are no longer serving you, some reflection, prompts, and encouragement. And nope, I went too far, I think. Nope, I didn't. I was good. All right. So for those of you popping in, obviously some of you know me, but some of you may not. So I thought it was probably important to, even though it's awkward, introducing myself when I'm just recording this video, but it's fine. I thought it was important for you to know who you were learning from, right? Like, for all you know, I'm just some Joe Blow that doesn't model this stuff. And, I don't know about you, but I don't want to learn from people who aren't modeling the good things for themselves. So, who am I? I'm Caitlin. I consider myself, I am a woman living cyclically and in her power. So over the course of the past 2 years, I have personally been learning how to live in accordance to my cycle as a woman, the cycle of our earth with the moon, and the cycle of our seasons. So that's a whole thing, but I'm not going to get into it here because this isn't about that. I'm a partner and I'm a bonus mom. I have the family now that I never knew that I wanted or needed, in a way. And I'm so grateful for all of them and just everything that I have learned over the last 5 years of that specific journey. I am a queen that is building community for women who are taking radical responsibility for themselves. And what that means is just a space that is free and open for people to talk about what it is, talk about and share resources about what it is they are doing for themselves, with maybe the intent for somebody else to learn or explore from their learning. I am a dreamer. I am a dreamer. I love, love, love sitting out on my back porch and just staring out into the field and envisioning what life is going to be, what all of it and in between, the past, the present, and all of the future. And I put forth the action to see the outcome of those things that I am dreaming about. And lastly, for right now, I am a social worker that is learning how to do her own damn thing. Now, that's a whole story in and of itself. I have been in the social work field for 13 years, 14 years, something around that, this coming September, working in the realm of child and youth care, and with always the intention of getting out and moving up and making change and all of that fun stuff. And over the course of my own growth journey, that has probably been 6 years in the making, I've really just learned how to do my own damn thing and to share and to teach and to do anything that aligns, that I feel will support and be of service to other people, because in the grand scheme of things, that is what a social worker is, maybe you don't know. Next. Okay, so what happened to me when I began recognizing my own worth. And before I get into that, I wanted to let you know, remind you, whatever it is you need to hear, that just because I am in a state of recognizing how fucking amazing I am, there are also times where that inner critic does get the best of me, and I do go down and go through it and whatever, but I've learned the tools to not let that succumb me and be able to get it on the other side. So what happened when I started recognizing my own worth? Well, I mean, for one, I can guarantee you that I wouldn't be doing this here, teaching you on video, sharing different things about myself. Sorry. I was the girl who used to shake in presentations. I hated getting up in front of a crowd. I was quiet. I did not speak my voice. That's just who I was. And I'm not anymore because I worked really hard to get through that. I am somebody whose voice was small. I think I might have said that. I stopped letting my ego control my life. I did and am committed to doing the work because I know that it's worth it. And I want different for my life than what society laid out for me as a woman, as a person, as a woman and a person, right? I have learned that I do not need to live the life that society set out for me. Like I said, I am doing my own damn thing. And another thing that happened is, prior to all of that, even if I were getting up here, I damn straight would have had some makeup on or done myself up for like something that people are going to see that I don't even know. But the way my face looks and my makeup is done doesn't depict my worth, and I've recognized that. So here I am showing up, spent all week camping, like I said, and came home, unpacked, lived life, showered, and hopped on because this is when I had the moment to do it. So here I am, no makeup, random t-shirt, little shorts. Like, I wouldn't have been on here before if I didn't recognize how powerful I was. So after this, so I'm still going to talk a little bit about the magic of plants because I love talking about this stuff. And again, as I mentioned, this whole entire challenge was derived from the bergamot oil. When I learned about it, when I recognized it on top of all the things intertwined that I had learned throughout. And I just love talking about this stuff. It's a great tool. And, that starts with kind of learning about our senses and how that plays a role with the plants in the form of pure essential oils and the bergamot oil in this case. So our sense of smell is our most primal. It exerts a powerful influence over our thoughts, emotions, moods, memories, and our behaviors. Scents are experienced before words, whether for relieving stress, stabilizing mood, improving sleep, and more. I know that there is, everybody has that one smell that they smell it and they think of, I don't know, maybe their grandma that isn't around anymore, that smell of like baking going on, or I don't know, you name it, something that automatically takes you back to a moment in your life that was really important, that you are fond of and you want to remember. Our smell is our primary sense that unconsciously activates and affects both positive and traumatic memories. It's intense. I thought about maybe sharing like a little story in here about how it activates stuff on an unconscious level. But I think I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want this to be a negative space, and it can be a triggering story. So I'm just going to leave it at that and just, think about that one smell that brings you back. So plants and the connection to our emotions. So this one I find a little difficult to explain. I think it is something that we truly need to experience before you fully believe in the power of plants and the connection that they have to us. It is magic for the people that are open to it. I'm sure you've probably heard the benefits of having physical plants in our homes, the happiness that they can make us feel, right? Essential oils are the compounds that are found in the plants. And just as some nature, so like think your vegetables, your fruits, your nuts, provides our bodies with nourishment, others help us through finding ourselves, through working through our feels, in all aspects of healing, and in recognizing our worth. Now, bergamot. This is the oil, as I mentioned, of self-acceptance. It can be used as a tool to relieve feelings of despair, self-judgment, and low self-esteem. It has some cleansing properties that can help rid of self-limiting beliefs, the ones that tell us that we were small, unworthy, and that we must be silent. Bergamot invites us to see life with more optimism and not in the mundane, live day to day type feels. It can be a support in reigniting the confidence in yourself and learning to love ourselves. And giving us the ability to learn to love ourselves unconditionally. Now, this is something that I like. Now, if I were I'm brilliant. If I would have thought about it, I would have brought my bergamot oil and shown you how I like to do it when I need it. So I'll just pretend. But I will either take some inhales right from the bottle, or I will use my roller. I'll roll it in my hands, put them together, tent over my face, and take some big inhales of the oil while repeating, I am worthy. I deserve everything that I put my mind to. And any little affirmation that kind of like pops you up, And so a little about doTERRA. So before them, my story with doTERRA. So before them, I had zero ideas about oils or companies or all the stuff that I have learned since. I used to be closed off, really closed off. I needed to experience it for myself, which is, I think fair to say, for a lot of things and with a lot of people, you don't know until you know, right? So I initially started off, I bought some oils from a different company because they smelled pretty and it was a good deal. And my friend told me about it. So I did it. And then I started paying attention to a girl that I used to know. And if you've been around, you've heard this story before. But I was watching her use her oils and how her life was drastically changing, essentially in a nutshell. And I wanted that. So I went to her and I got her support in my thought, and I started doing the thing. And I listened to what she told me to do because, again, she was modeling the life or aspects of a life that I seen myself and I wanted to live. So I listened to what I was told and I started learning and I started doing it. And my life has changed 180. Is that full circle? I think so. Yeah, 180. My life has changed 180 since I trusted my gut and I listened to that woman that I was inspired to by. Then I slowly started to remove toxins from my home. It's not perfect, but it's about an 80-20. In all of the rooms of my home, you will find doTERRA products, whether that is natural cleaning, supplements, oils, all of the things. So I slowly started to remove them, and I started recognizing the effects that toxins have, again, on our overall emotions, how clogged up we are, all that kind of stuff. But again, this isn't for that, so I'm not going to get into that whole spiel. And then I learned about the emotional benefits. And the rest was history, because that was when, like I said, I was doing the things, but then I learned about how those things were playing a role in my own growth. And my mind was blown, and it's been blown ever since. And here we are. And now I wanted to talk a little bit about, still doTERRA, but essentially I've been offered other opportunities to like go to another company or a direct selling company or whatever. And I've thought about it, if I'm being honest. I wanted the fast money quick, right? Like I wanted to be self-sufficient and not be doing the things that I have to do right now to get by. But something that I've learned through the support of my oils, through all of the doTERRA products that I use, is that I don't want to do the quick fix just buy because I say you should buy. I want to teach people and build things that play off of the oils. And so here we are. I've stayed. And I just believe so deeply in the beauty of plants, and in this case, in the form of pure essential oils. They have so much wisdom to teach us. And the purity matters. Where the oil comes from matters. And doTERRA's oils, they are grown where the plant is indigenous to. And what this means is the plant is growing in its optimal climate, its best soil, where the plant is supposed to be. So you can imagine if it's growing where it's supposed to be, chances are it is probably at its best. Just like us, when we surround ourselves with the people who are doing the thing and learning and all that stuff, and not living in the mundane. The mundane is perfectly normal, but not living in the poor me's victim mindset, you thrive, right? So just like plants, surroundings, all that stuff, it all connects. doTERRA has a couple things. They're called, not a couple things, that's not the way to explain it, but there is Source to You, which is the initiative behind essentially a whole website where you can take any bottle of oil that you have purchased, type in the barcode, and it will tell you exactly all of the steps for how the oil was grown, planted, sourced, distillery, all the science stuff that isn't my thing. Okay. So they have that because, again, purity matters. And then they have co-impact sourcing, which essentially means no middlemen. They don't have the big guns coming in from God knows where to be a part of the whole process of it. Does that make sense? doTERRA, essentially, they are helping the small farmers because they are just helping without, I don't know how else to explain it. I should have written this down a little bit more because here I am. They are helping everybody along the lines of production for each specific oil, I guess is the best way I'm going to explain it. And someday, if you pay attention to my stuff, I will talk more about co-impact sourcing, and I already have, but I'm going to leave it at that here. Leave it at that here, because again, this is about our worth, and just wanted to share a few things about doTERRA. And I think that covers it for everything I need to share right here, right now in our intro video. I will be popping into your inbox again in the morning. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for sticking around for our little intro video. Can't wait to share with you day one and all the rest.